Ho, 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 and welcome to another episode of Resin of the Living Dead as we continue Christmas in July. Today we have this mold from Temu, of course, and it is a base that has a lid. This lid will ultimately go in it, and it's got some spaces and some holes. You see there are some slots, and it's going to have 3 Christmas trees and 3 deer. And so what we are going to do is we are going to use some eye candy forest green pigment powder, and that is going to be for the Christmas trees. And then we have some Sigwon pigment paste, and this is in brown, it's coffee colored. And then we are also going to use, this is from Baltic Day. This is pigment paste, and this is Snow White. So what we're going to do is we're going to use white on the base and the lid, and then we are going to use green in the trees, brown in the deer, and see how it goes. Now, because this piece is too big to put into the pressure pot, this will stay out. The base and the lid will go in the pressure pot. And I think what we're going to do in the end is we're going to find a way to drill a small hole in the side. So when it's done and it looks like a dish, we're going to drill a small hole and feed some fairy lights into the bottom. And that way the lights will then light up through the bottom, through these holes that will be in the mold, and cause an illumination in the middle amongst all the pieces. So we are currently mixing up about 12 ounces of 2-part resin. This is a new company, or at least a new brand for me. This is KHKD resin, and I will put a link to it in the description if you care to give that a try through an Amazon link. Again, it is an affiliate link, so the channel will earn a little bit more, which allows us to buy more supplies for the future. Again, there will also be a link for the eye candy as well as the pigment pastes. So what I'm going to do, now that I've mixed up 12 ounces, I'm going to divide it up and get the colors added, and then we will be right back. See you in a few. We are back, and we have mixed up our resin to start, but before we do that, we're going to give our molds here just a quick spray with our isopropyl alcohol. And before we even do that, I see there's a couple little things in here, so let me just make sure that they are clean. Make sure that we don't have anything, because we don't want them getting stuck on the mold when we pour. So there we go. All right, so we're going to take our white, and we'll start over here with the base. I think it measured out to about 4 ounces. I think. Let's see, maybe a little bit more in here. And what I did was I left a little bit in the clear without any color in it in case we needed to add color, because I'm not sure. This one's got a lot of obstacles, and I think that I measured it right. But there's a possibility that I'm going to need a little bit more for this guy, but we'll see here in a minute. We'll just kind of pour it around the outer edges and let it work its way. Make sure I don't knock over anything else. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's see, maybe add a little bit more to bring it up to the top, but we're going to have a little bit more than we need, which is fine. We'll just go around the outside just a little bit here. Oh, I see a spot where it didn't fill out. Oops. All right, so we're going to get these moved out of the way and get ready for our mold that's staying on the table. So let me put these in the pressure pot and I'll be right back. All right, so the other two pieces are now in the pressure pot. So we're going to come over here and we are going to use our brown and our green. So let's start with our brown, and it's going to go in these 3 deer shapes. So we're going to start with this guy. All right, that's one. And this one. And again, I left a little bit of the clear. Let's let it fill out. The deer are going to be pretty dark, but we're going to add just a little bit more in here, and then we're going to give them a spray in the end. So, and then this third one. And we'll let that push down into the legs. And we'll see how well that does, and we'll add a little bit more. I think that looks good. So we're going to have some brown left over, which is fine. And now we're going to take the green and we're going to do the trees. So we'll start here at the top. And make sure that we don't pour it into the deer. Oh, this is a pretty mica powder. It's got a lot of swirls in it. I think it's going to look really neat. So we'll let that fill in a little bit, and we'll come up here and we'll do this guy. I like using these Dixie cups because I can squeeze them into a point. And again, this one's not going to fit in the pressure pot with the current little holder that I have to put stuff in there. But what I did buy was some wood panels that will fit, and I just got to drill some holes and get them leveled out with the magnets. So, all right, let's do this one. We'll start here at the top. Hopefully you can see on the video the swirls that are kind of inherent in this mica powder, which is really pretty. Let's see. This one looks a little low, so we'll come up and put a little bit more in here. Let that level out. And again, this one's not going to go in the pressure pot because it's just the mold is just too big. And this big guy needs a little bit more in there so it can reach up to the top of the mold. But I think we made just enough. So I have some clear. We're going to do something with it in a minute. It looks good. We will give it once over with the rubbing alcohol spray, isopropyl alcohol spray. All right, and what we're going to do is let's move this over to the side, grab another mold to do with the remainder of what we have, and I'll be right back. All right, so we grabbed one of these little planter molds that we've seen in a previous video that with the little plant that will sit inside of it. So we put the brown in there. We have a little bit of white, and what I think I want to do is I'm going to take a little tiny bit of the white. I'm going to try to see if I can't just give it a little drizzle on the top. It may not work. I want to see if maybe I can get it looking like a little bit of a snow. Maybe just on this one big tree. So you can see I'm just going to put a drop on some of these branches. I know it's going to spread out because there's no glue in here, but that's okay. And we'll just see how that goes. It may not work, but we'll see. We still have white and clear to do something with. So bear with me and I'll be back again. All right, we found this little candelabra kind of candle holder mold. So we're going to do the remaining clear. We added some black to it and some glue, and then the white we added some brown into it, and we're just going to pour it in here and fill it up. See what we get. We'll probably set this one in the pressure pot too because it has there's some space. Let's move that to the side a moment. It looks like these, do these have kind of, yeah, we're going to squish these a little bit to make sure because there's a lot of spaces for bubbles. And we'll pour some of this brownish into it. Alright, and then we're going to put some more black to fill it up. And we'll be done pouring this in just a moment. And we'll give that a spray. See that little bubble on top. Let's get that popped. All right, so very carefully, we're going to get him into the pressure pot. I am trying not to make a mess, and I'm going to make a mess. All right, what do we have left? We still have some left. Where's our little dog and cat molds? They're around here somewhere. Whoop, hit the... We're just going to put in as much as we can, and it's just going to do, we'll fill it up later. All right, that is the end of the black. There is no more green. The brown is, I think the brown is, well, there's a little bit of it. That's the end of the brown. And then we have this one where they had the glue in it. We'll just scoop that out, get that into this cat mold. All right, I think that's about all we're going to get out of these. So we're going to fill up the pressure pot, get that running. We're going to let these sit for 24 hours, and then we will be back to demold. We won't be demolding the cats, those aren't full, but we will demold this. We will try to figure out how we're going to put the lights inside, and then see how it all comes together. So see you in about 24 hours. All right, we are back to demold. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with our leftover one, which was the little candle holder, and just see how that came out. It's a little soft, but no bubbles. That looks cool. We'll have to get some little candles in there and see how they go. All right, so now for the best part. So we'll start with the base, and this is the sitting part, and we're just gonna. Oh, okay. So it has a notch. You can see right there, so that the lights inside will have a place for the string to go, so I don't have to worry about making a drill hole, which is great. So we'll do next with the lid. A little soft, so what I'm going to end up doing is setting them out after we're done, but this is going to go in like this, and you see it's set right down into it. All right, and then we'll start over here with our deer. There's a little, oh no, it's not a bubble, just a piece of so I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. So that's going to go in there like that. And we'll take our tree out, and again, a little soft, but we'll fix that up later. next tree. And then finally the big guy. You see. Alright, and then we'll get our deer in the front. And then our buck. And he'll go here. So what I have here is I do have a string light. So what I'll do is move this guy over a little bit. And I think for now we're just gonna set the string lights in. We're not really gonna worry about positioning or laying them out, but put this back on top. Then we'll just hit the button. Turn this light off. That's cool. I do think what I want to do is put something on these trees so that they stay up a little bit straighter. But the deer came out nice. Let me just move